Once upon a time, a princess wished to be beautiful, and the mirror said yes, but mirrors don't give. They take. And when they're done, they leave you with nothing, not even a face to cry with. Most people don't know about this fairy tale. This princess didn't care about riches or love or even ruling a kingdom. She just wanted to be beautiful, like dangerous beautiful, the kind that made people stare too long and forget their own names. So let's set the scene. We're in this kingdom where appearances aren't just everything. They're the only thing. If your hair wasn't glossy enough to reflect candlelight, you were invisible. If your skin wasn't glow like the gods, flawless, you might as well have lived in the woods with the trolls. And in the middle of it all, our princess. She had everything: velvet gowns, pearls braided into her hair, a walk that could make glass slippers jealous. But still, she never felt like enough. Because next to her cousin, the girl with the perfect smile and waist the size of a flute, she always felt like the before photo.
Do I not shimmer enough? Why does my nose do that weird crinkle when I smile? Why did no one tell me I have one eyebrow that's slightly bolder than the other?
Relatable, honestly. By the time her 16th birthday rolls around, she's done pretending. The court is throwing a grand ball in her honor. But she dips. Like full-on sneaks out of the palace in her flats and cloak while everyone's distracted with confetti and harp solos. Why? Because the moon is red. And rumor has it, if you make a wish under a blood moon in the forest beyond the veil, something, or someone, might just answer. So she follows the whispers, through fog, past thorn-covered trees, until she finds it. A well, old, stone, covered in moss, the kind of thing you just know comes with consequences. She leans in, heart pounding, and says,
I want to be the most beautiful woman in all the lands, not just pretty, unforgettable.
And then silence, until a breeze brushes her cheek, the shadows twist, and a voice like soft, deep wrong curls around her like smoke.
Then beauty you shall have, until no one sees you at all.
Huh?
But before she can say,
Wait, what?
she faints. Wakes up the next morning in her royal bed, which is weird because she definitely passed out in the middle of a cursed forest. She sits up groggily, and the maids gasp. Her skin? Glowing like moonlight on milk. Hair? Cascading like ink in water. Eyes? Straight up hypnotic. She walks past a mirror and stops. Because for the first time in her life, she doesn't criticize a thing. She just stares.
Okay, wow.
But here's the thing. People around her start acting a little strange. Like they're looking through her. Or around her. Or directly past her with a forced smile like they don't want to make eye contact with a ghost. And at first, she brushes it off. But by sunset, she starts to wonder if maybe that wish came with a receipt. So boom, overnight, she's the girl. Painters straight up pass out when she walks by. Poets write sonnets just from the way she blinks. And suitors? Oh, they're out here tripping over their own ruffles trying to impress her. Like, one guy brought her a literal diamond goose. Another had a mural of her tattooed on his back. Someone else just fainted when she said thank you. It was insane, and she loved it. But here's the twist. No one ever said anything to her face. They'd stare, they'd whisper, but they were terrified to actually approach her. Why? Because in their minds, someone that beautiful couldn't possibly be nice. She must be cursed. Beautiful and kind? That's not how life works. She probably eats kittens. So they admired her like some untouchable goddess, which honestly kind of sucked. Until one day, a little girl tugged on her sleeve. Big eyes, messy braids, zero fear. She looks up at the princess and goes, "You have the warmest smile I've ever seen." And for some reason, that cracked something open. The princess smiled, really smiled, and handed the girl her favorite cherry popstick. Here, for being the bravest person in this whole castle. And that moment, it did something. People saw it, heard the girl giggle, watched the princess laugh like an actual person. And suddenly, wait, maybe she's not terrifying? But nobody else said anything that day. Still, she went to bed with her heart full. First time in a long time she felt human. Then, the next morning, she wakes up, yawns, checks the mirror, and freezes. Something's off. That perfect little crinkle in her smile, gone. It was tiny, barely noticeable. She shrugs it off. Weird lighting, she tells herself. A little powder here, a little blush there, and boom, back to goddess mode. But then it happens again. Another day, another compliment.
Your eyes sparkle like the stars.
Next morning, one of her eyes is dimmer, like the shimmer's been scraped out. She rubs it, nothing changes. Now she's a little freaked, but again, makeup exists, it's fine. She can deal, but it keeps happening. Every compliment comes with a cost.
You're flawless.
Suddenly, her skin's too smooth, almost fake, porcelain-like.
You don't even look real.
And then, her reflection fades a little in the mirror.
You're so quiet, so elegant.
Her voice, softer, like it's slipping through her throat instead of out of it. The weird part? She still looked perfect, but not alive.
She's like a statue.
She's not human. Are you even real?
And now she's realizing, the more people praise her, the less of her there is. And that wish? It wasn't a blessing. It was a countdown. At first, she tried to play it cool. A little contour, some royal-level concealer. But you can't blend away the feeling of disappearing. And then she just stopped smiling. Not because she didn't want to, but because she literally couldn't. Her face had started to feel stiff, heavy, like it belonged to someone else. And crying? Don't even try. One night, in the privacy of her room, she broke down, or tried to, and as the first tear fell, her cheek cracked. Not a metaphor, like porcelain actually cracked. The next morning, her maids came in, saw broken shards scattered across the vanity mirror, and screamed. One of them fainted. The other locked herself in the closet. But it didn't stop there. To make matters worse, the king decided to throw in some extra trauma.
You'll marry the prince of the Eastern Kingdom, he said, for peace, for power.
She tried to protest, but her voice was too faint, like wind through dead leaves. When the prince finally arrived, he stepped forward, looked into her eyes, and screamed.
She has no face.
And to be fair, he wasn't wrong. Her features were still there, technically. But they weren't hers anymore. Her eyes were dull glass, her lips unmoving, her skin pale and cracked like a weathered mask. The beauty was still there, but it was empty. No warmth, no light, no her. So she ran. Through the palace halls, down the velvet staircases, all the way to the edge of the kingdom where no one knew her name. And that's when it happened. In the corner of a tiny village, sitting on a stoop, she saw her. The little girl, the one who had once complimented her smile. And the moment their eyes met, the princess stopped. Because that smile, it was hers. Not just the same, not just similar. It was exactly the warm, genuine smile she used to have. And then she noticed something else. There, across the courtyard, was the painter who once said her eyes sparkled like stars. And he had that sparkle now. They'd taken pieces of her, and not on purpose, not maliciously, but every time someone praised her beauty, a sliver of her was transferred, gifted away like a blessing she never meant to give. And the wildest part? They wore it better. They looked alive, bright, whole. She watched them laugh, play, exist, with her stolen light, and she didn't know whether to cry or smile, because for the first time she understood the curse. She didn't walk. She limped back to that cursed well, cloak torn, skin cracked, steps echoing through the silent woods like a broken lullaby. Gone was the girl who whispered wishes under blood moons. This time she was done wishing.
Come out!
She said, not with fear but fury.
I know you're here.
And right on cue, like mist curling from nowhere, the shadow appeared. Same voice. Same velvet calm. Same too late kind of wisdom.
You asked for beauty,
The spirit said.
not love, not peace, not truth.
And that hit harder than she expected. Because suddenly, flashbacks. Every moment she could have chosen connection. The boy at the banquet who told her his dreams eyes before she waved him off. The friend who noticed her sadness before she snapped at her to get lost. The painter who tried to capture her spirit, not just her skin, before she demanded he only draw her perfectly. She'd had love, realness, people who saw her, and she'd traded them all for praise.
I didn't know.
She whispers, her voice barely there.
I didn't understand what I was asking for.
The spirit tilted its head.
Most don't.
Please,
She begged.
take it back. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to disappear.
There was a pause, a long, heavy pause, and then,
Break the mirror,
the spirit said.
or become it.
And just like that, it vanished. The air was still. The forest, quiet. And in her hands, like it had always been waiting. A small, silver mirror, cracked around the edges, and inside, not her reflection, her replacement. The girl she used to be. The girl she gave away. She walks back into the palace like a ghost wearing a crown. No trumpets, no grand entrance, just the click of her heels on marble and the whispers rising like a storm. They've all gathered, the nobles, the artists, the men who once wrote poems about her eyelids, the women who used her as a mirror for their own insecurities. Everyone wants a piece. Show us your face. Show us your beauty. Please, just one look. They're begging now, hungry for the thing they helped destroy. And in the center of it all, mirrors, dozens of them, tall, gleaming, pointed in her direction like glass weapons. She says nothing, just reaches up and slowly peels off the mask. At first, nothing. Then, gasps, screams, because there is no face, no lips, no eyes, no softness, just smooth, empty porcelain, a beautiful, terrifying, hollow. A sculpture of a girl who once wanted to be seen. And then she smiles. That one last tragic smile, like she's in on the joke now, like she knows, and with that, crack. A single fracture runs through her cheek, then another, and then shatter. Her body explodes into 1,000 glittering shards, mirror pieces flying through the air like cursed confetti. The crowd? Dead silent. Nobody speaks. Nobody moves. Because when they look into the shards scattered around them, they don't see her. They see themselves. Every crack, every vanity, every version of the lie they helped sell, and just like that. The most beautiful girl in the kingdom was gone, not forgotten, just reflected. Somewhere deep in the forest, past the twisted trees and forgotten paths, the old shrine still stands. The well is silent now. No whispers, no shadows, just stillness. But if you look close, right where the moonlight hits the moss-covered stone, you'll see it. A single shard, just one. Sharp, cold, still reflecting light like it remembers her. Voiceover begins low and haunting, like a bedtime story you're not sure you want to hear. She was the most beautiful girl the world had ever seen, until there was nothing left of her. Some wishes don't ask what you want. They ask what you're willing to give up. The mirror doesn't lie, but it also doesn't care. And as the wind sweeps through the trees, soft and hollow like a breath that never came back, fade to black. If you love stories that dig deeper, the ones they don't read you before bed, subscribe and help me reach 10,000 souls who crave the truth behind the tales.